Hi, my name is Ashley and I'm the creator of the SeneBusiness profits and inventory tracking spreadsheets. And I have two out there right now in my Etsy shop. One is for Excel and it's a more robust version. And then this one that I'm going to be talking about right now is a Google Sheets spreadsheet. And so this is a great option if you're on the go a lot and you want to be able to record inventory, take it with you, because Google Sheets you can do on your phone, on your computer, and so it's a great way to constantly be live and be able to interact with your spreadsheet. There are some downfalls. One is that it is a little slow depending on your bandwidth, so just keep that in mind as you're working through it. It may take the calculations a little while to work, but it is a great option if you want to be able to take your spreadsheet on the go. I personally use the more robust spreadsheet just because I like the features on it better and it's a little cleaner and quicker, but to each their own. So we're going to talk today about the Google Sheets, and I will walk you through how to populate it. So when you first open it, you're going to come to this introduction page, and this is just information about the actual spreadsheet. If you want to see the actual instructions on how to populate it, as opposed to sitting and watching this video every time, those are included in a Word document with your download. So go ahead and reference them, and it'll walk you through in the same manner that I'm walking you through today. Okay, so the next tab that you come to is the P&L summary, and this one along with the quantities tab are highlighted in red because those are tabs that I highly recommend you do not mess with. So they have lots of formulas and functions in here that make them work, so try not to delete something. If you do, go ahead, press the back button, or you can do Control-Z and it'll get you back to where you were before. But again, try not to delete the formulas if you can help it. Okay, when you first open the P&L summary sheet, it's blank, and so I'm not going to spend too much time right now on this. We'll come back once we populate information, but it's here. This is basically your main summary, and it's going to tell you whether or not your business is profitable at that point in time. The quantities tab is another tab that's going to give you a lot of great information. It has all of the products, the product names, and the retail price, and then it's going to give you all kinds of different quantities in here. So it'll tell you how much you've paid for the goods that you actually have in stock. It'll tell you how much is available in stock. And then you can also see in here what you've ordered, what you've received, how many products you've traded or retained for samples, as well as how many you've sold. And so this is kind of your one-stop shop of how you get information about your products. And we'll come back here again once we populate some information. So let's go to the percentage and orders tab. This is the next one, and this is where you're going to put in information about your specific percentage and orders that you are purchasing. So let's say I have some 2016 inventory that I'm carrying over into the new year, and I want to be able to take that inventory into account. I would go ahead and put in here 2016 carryover inventory, and then enter the product numbers. So let's say I had some Bella, and I had some Bravo, and let me see the same thing here, 2016 carryover inventory. And so you can see this is where it's calculating. It's a little slow, like I mentioned, but it does work. So just give it a minute if it doesn't pop up, and it will pop up pretty quickly. Okay, so let's say for the inventory that I'm carrying over, I had a discount level of 50% for those products. And let's say I had 15 Bellas on hand and maybe 10 of the Bravo. And so it's going to go in, again, calculated it, and then it's going to tell me what the cost for that inventory was and what the average cost was. Now let's say I placed an order on the 1st of January, and I ordered some nutmeg, and I ordered some glossy, and I ordered some oops, and maybe I ordered a mocha java. This is the only spreadsheet or the only sheet within the document where you don't have to put the date every single line. So if you only want to put it for one item for that order, you can do that. You can fill it in for every item if you want. I'll do that just to be consistent. And then the other thing that I would mention is that if you're looking for your product number, you can either come to the quantities tab and look in here, or you can actually go to your SeneBusiness order form and it will have it all there. And so that's the easiest way to enter information. So let's say that for all these orders I had a 40% discount level, and then I had, let's say I got 8 of the nutmeg, I got 10 glossy, 10 oops, and then let's say I ordered 2 of the mocha java, and let's say I've gotten all of my products in except for the mocha java. Let's say that that one was potentially back ordered, and then maybe I kept one of the glossy and one of the nutmeg for my personal testers. And so we're going to come over here to the quantities tab, and if you look in here, after it finishes calculating and populating, it'll show you what quantities you actually have available. So you can see it's already run through the Bella, it's run through the Bravo, so those are in here. I know how many I have. Okay, and so it's gone through and it's calculated everything. If you look here at the shadow sense, the mocha java, it's showing me that I don't have any because I haven't received them. And so this is a great place to look. You can see if anything's red here, that means that it's potentially on back order, you just haven't received it yet. So it'll be a good place for you to be able to identify that information within your stock. Okay, so let's move on to the inventory adjustments tab, and let's say that I decided to trade one of my Bellas for an icicle. And so let's say on February 1st, February 1st, 2017, I traded a Bella, and that was $12.44, and I traded one of those, and I traded it for an icicle. And so the icicle product number is 2459, or 1249, sorry, and sorry, I'm just type it in. Bella is 1244. 1244. And okay, so yeah, the icicle 1249, it's invalid. It's not showing up because it's one of those products that's just not currently in our inventory. And so the way to handle that is to come over here to the far tab on the beauty book list. And we're going to come in here and we're going to scroll to the very bottom of the beauty book list. And I'm actually going to enter it in here. And so this is how you're going to handle any item that either you have in stock that is no longer a part of our SeneBusiness inventory, or if SeneBusiness releases new products such as the Goddess I know just came out, and so that's not currently on this list. If you got a Goddess, then that's what you would do. You would come in here, you'd add the product number, the product name, and then the retail cost, and then it'll populate through to the rest of the sheets. And so if I come back over here, once it finishes calculating, it'll go ahead and show me that, okay, I have an icicle, and this is what the name is. I'm going to come here to the traded cost, and the way I handle that is we look at the discount level of the original purchase. So I originally purchased Bella for 50% off. So that's what I'm going to apply to my icicle. So let's say my icicle is $25 retail. I am trading it for a 50% product, and so I would put in $12.50 here, and then it'll capture that information. Okay, let's go over here and we're going to look real quick at the quantities tab now that I have all my quantities in here. And so if you look in here, you're going to have all this information, and so you can see I ordered 15 Bellas, but I traded one of them, so now my quantity available is only 14. And I can scroll down and see all the different quantities available. Again, the mocha java, I ordered 2, but I haven't received them, so it's actually showing as a blank right now. And so I can scroll all the way down and see all the information. If I don't want to have to keep scrolling, what I can do is come over here to this filter button, click that, and I'll scroll down and I just unclick that blank tab and say OK. And then it'll populate only the items that I currently have in stock. So this is a great way to come in here, just visualize what you have and know at any point in time. Okay, we're going to go ahead and enter some customer information. So let's say that I sold some product to a friend. Let's say her name is Ashley, and I sold her a nutmeg, and I sold her a glossy, and I sold her also a and oops. And so I'll come in here and enter all this information. Make sure that you populate the order date for every single line for every product. Otherwise, the P&L will not calculate correctly. And so let's say I sold her one of each of those. Maybe I charged her $4 for shipping. I gave her a $5 discount, and maybe I got, I had to pay $1.50 in processing. These drop downs over here are for your reference. If you want to keep track of your orders, you can click yes or no. If you want to know if you've sent your invoice, if it's been paid, if you've shipped, those are just for tracking. You don't have to fill those out. They won't mess anything up if you don't do them, but it's more for your own information. And so if we come over here and look at the P&L summary tab, you'll see now that all the information from that sales tab is now populating. So I had $55 in gross sales. I didn't charge her tax, but I did charge her shipping, and I gave her a discount. This is how much I paid for the product, and this was my credit card processing fees. And so my net profit on that sale was $19.50. Let's say I sold another item on the 15th of February to maybe Jessica, and let's say I sold her my one icicle that I had, and I didn't charge her any other product costs. If you come over to the P&L summary, once it all calculates, you'll see that then the February cost that $25 for my gross sales, and I paid $12.50 for it. And so that gets populated in January or in February, and then it all gets calculated over here in the year to date. Okay, so for extra income, which is your next tab after the customer sales, this is where you're going to go in and put in any information about what SeneBusiness gives you. You can alter these if you would like to, but they're kind of just standards of what I would put in there. So let's say I got $250 from my SeneCar 1 month, and then maybe in March I qualified for the $500. Once I put that in here, you'll see that it goes through and actually populates that information into your P&L. Okay, the last tab that you need to enter information into is the expense tab. We've got these expense categories over here. You can change those if you want. They're what populate this drop down. So let's say you want to change this bank fee. I'll show you how it works real quickly. Once you change it there, it'll change it in this drop down. So you can put in whatever information you want there. So the way this works is that you put everything in here for your expenses, including any tax or shipping that SeneBusiness charges you. Also, any testers that you retain. So if you look back here, I have basically $17 in testers that I retain. I would put that information over here in this expense tab. So let's say that was my 1/1/2017, and it was from SeneBusiness. And it was my testers, and I would go ahead and select them from samples and testers. That was $27, so that would be entered here. On that same order from SeneBusiness, I was charged tax, and that's my taxes paid. And let's say I was charged $15, and then from the same order, I was charged shipping, and let's say my shipping was $7.50. So once I enter all that information in here, I can go over to my P&L summary, and you can see here that it actually populates that information into the table and calculates it. And so that's basically the way it works for expenses. If I had, let's say, an order on maybe February 1st to Amazon, and I ordered some applicator wands, I'd put in here under maybe, demo products, and then I would put in maybe $15 for that. You come back over to the P&L summary, and the $15 is here. Okay, so the last tab that we're going to look at real quick, customer information. This is something you can fill out if you want to. It's just to retain information about your customers. Again, you don't have to use it. It doesn't do anything in terms of functions in the book. But it is there if you want to track your customer information all in one place. And again, the beauty book list is here. You can enter information down at the bottom if you need to, but it's also just a quick reference for anyone that wants to take a look. So that's the basic rundown of the Google Sheets. I hope you've enjoyed this and it's answered most of your questions. Thanks.